there are the points. Brent Jones leading with 90, a substantial margin. Martin Renfrey from Australia on 60, along with New Zealand's Simon Turner. Hamish McNichol on 34, and Bruce Woodley on 32, which is as many as he's going to get, because as we said a little while ago, Bruce Woodley is in hospital after an unfortunate accident yesterday in which he broke his thigh. Waiting for a start now in Formula 2, Brent Jones not being over anxious there, as some of the Australians are outside of him. Simon Turner looking to get away. They've got to start now. Away cleanly. Jones getting a good start up the inside. One of his hallmarks has been that he's always been a good starter. Martin Renfrey right behind him, but Simon Turner coming around the outside. He's going to be a little wide there. Coming into good position, Simon Turner. Renfrey in third, so it's Jones, Turner, Renfrey at the moment. And our own commentator, Peter Clifford, is out there on letter P somewhere. He's about a mid-order runner. We won't expect him to be right up with the leaders, but he enjoys his racing. Keeps him in touch with commentators, of course. Jones, Renfrey has slipped in behind him now. Martin Renfrey from Australia. Simon Turner back to third place. And a good battle developing. I know that these Australians are very, very keen that Brent Jones should be beaten while they're in New Zealand. They don't like the idea of somebody winning all the races. And really, it must become a little boring to the people behind him, because Brent Jones has extraordinarily good machinery, the best available, and he is a very clever rider, and he's on his home circuit. And just looking at that machine, Joanne, there's not a lot when you look at them of difference between TZ250s over the years, but this one's had a little bit of tuning from a total expert.
Yes, Brent spent 3 or 4 months in Europe, Tony. He did 3 Grand Prix, picked up a lot of experience. He was racing against fairly heavy opposition over there. While he was there, though, he had the good fortune to get in touch with Kel Carruthers, who spent many years tuning Kenny Roberts' 250s and 500 Grand Prix bikes. And Kel Carruthers breathed some of his effervescent magic into Brent's motor and seemed to make quite a difference, because you'll notice this bike's quite a lot faster than a lot of the other TZ250s that are out there. Letter L here is Hamish McNichol. He's actually riding the same model bike as Brent's, recovering from a fairly slow start, but you'll notice when they get to the straight that Brent's got the speed superiority over both Hamish McNichol's Yamaha as well as the 2 Hondas that are sandwiched in between Brent and McNichol at the moment.
2 New Zealanders and 2 Australians in those first 4 positions at the moment. New Zealanders first and third, Australians second and fourth. Hamish McNichol in 4th place. We would expect him perhaps to get through on Simon Turner. In theory, the bike is quicker. Brent Jones still hanging on to that lead. Martin Renfrey behind him. 2nd place. 3rd place, Simon Turner. 4th place, Hamish McNichol. I notice a number of different lines, even on similar machinery, coming out of that hairpin. Is there oil down there, Robert?
No, but there's a few bumps on the inside, and I think the line you take out of the hairpin has a whole lot to do with your approach to it under brakes. And as you see, Brent takes a tight line in, but a wide line out, and I think he's definitely got the fastest line of the hairpin. He knows Ruapuna really well, and I think if anybody puts him under any pressure, he'll just pull a few little tricks and he'll be away again. I don't think he's under any pressure as he is now. Just talking to the Australians over the last couple of days, any one of them wants to beat him really badly. They want to go home with at least beating him in one Formula 2 race, and I think if Brent's his normal self, he won't want to get beaten in anything.
And I think Brent Jones has perhaps surprised a lot of Australians by having been there this year and ridden some excellent races, particularly in production bikes.
Well, he obviously went to Europe, did 3 GPs earlier on the season, and from what I've heard, he was almost a top privateer in most of the events. He qualified 14th at one, which is just unbelievable for the amount of effort they put in. It's a totally private entry from Brent and his father, and he's got a lot of really well set up pieces on his bikes, and he rides really well. Like, he really puts in the maximum effort. I see he's under a bit of a pressure here now from Renfrey. It'll be interesting whether he actually lets him go or whether he just sits there, but I think Brent's a racer through and through, and he won't let anybody get away.
Actually, I often wonder if Christchurch is aware what sort of a quality rider they have in Brent Jones, because he doesn't seem to be as well known in Christchurch as he is perhaps overseas and in the rest of the country. but he is certainly a world-class rider in anyone's language and has dominated this Formula 2 series as he has in previous years. He had last year off this main series with an eye injury and has come back as strong as ever.
Yeah, Brent's riding better than I've seen him ride in a long time. I rode with him in the Australian 6 hour and he went excellent over there. He had a really good ride in the New Zealand 6 hour here, qualifying fastest, and had a bit of an accident in the race after an oil leak. But Brent just puts in as much effort as he needs to on the day, and as it shows here, he's riding really well. But I believe he should go back overseas. I think he should pack up his bags and go have another attempt, and I'm sure he'd get a really well-sponsored ride for next year if he went over there and put in the effort.
So looking at number 1, Brent Jones in Christchurch. Behind him, letter F from Australia, Martin Renfrey. Coming into the traffic now, and this is where Renfrey may be able to get some advantage if he gets lucky. He's got unlucky. There's Renfrey in second place. Looking back, Simon Turner still hanging on to that third place at the moment from Hamish McNichol, letter L in fourth place. Now look at Jones now. He looked around half a lap ago to see where Renfrey was, and you could almost see him smile inside that full-face helmet, because I think he likes a challenge. I think he's aware of how much the Australians want to beat him, and I think he wants to give them the opportunity to get close so he can run away. Hamish McNichol still in fourth place.
Simon Turner's had his share of problems here, Tony. This is only his first or second time on a proper GP circuit, and he's finding that it takes a little bit more to set the bike up to handle than it did at Wanganui. He had a little bit of after here on practice day on Wednesday. Took him a little while to get his confidence back, but he's holding Hamish McNichol off on the Yamaha quite successfully here.
And now, man for the future, man with a great deal of talent. Joanne, I know you feel that perhaps he should spend another season in New Zealand before he goes to Australia to see if he can get some more racing. But Simon Turner, to me, is a great prospect.
He's got loads of talent, Tony. There's no doubting about that. I'm sure he's fairly keen to follow in Uncle Keith's footsteps. People remember Keith in the late 70s placing second in the World 500cc Grand Prix Championships, which is certainly no mean feat. He's got the talent. He perhaps just needs to tidy his loose ends up just a little bit. But he's certainly got a lot of potential to travel overseas, certainly at some stage. He's young enough and keen enough to be able to be quite successful on field.
Brent Jones through your picture. Martin Renfrey going through, waiting now for third place. Simon Turner, 46th, then Hamish McNichol right on his tail in fourth place. McNichol unable to make any impression on Turner at this stage. The gap between Brent Jones and Martin Renfrey not quite as big as that between Renfrey and Simon Turner in third place. Renfrey, the only one able to get close at this stage to Brent Jones. Jones continues on his winning way.
See the superior speed of Yamaha here starting to have an effect over Martin Renfrey, who also had his share of problems here. Had a little expedition into the grass on practice day. Red got his bike running again, but it sucked a bit of dirt into the motor, so he slowly had to rebuild it and get it going quickly again.
Brent Jones getting through the traffic with the greatest of ease.
I think Brent's knowledge of the circuit around here helps when he comes to the traffic. He can just put the bike where he wants to go. He knows where all the bumps are, knows where the nice smooth bits are, knows where all the grip is. He's already had quite a few races today, so I think he's got a distinct advantage over these guys in circuit knowledge. And obviously skill and determination needs to win the races like Brent's been doing.
Martin Renfrey getting held up just a little by a back marker there. Not able to take the line that he wanted. And as a result, he's lost a bit of ground on Brent Jones. Must be very demoralising. That's a lot of ground to try and make up. It may take you 3, 4, 5 laps to gain that 10 metres that you have between you. And then one back marker getting in the way can destroy all of that hard work.
I think Simon Turner's put in a fantastic little ride here. We've all got to remember that Brent Jones has been overseas riding all year. Martin Renfrey and Hamish McNichol have both been riding all season, so they've all got an advantage over Simon because it's the first time he couldn't.
Hamish McNichol just getting through him there with perhaps a little bit of inexperience.
Yes, I think so. I think he's riding the bike as hard as anybody when it comes to cornering speeds, but he's missing out through just over-exuberance, I think, and a little bit of the traffic. I think he just needs another season under his belt. If these guys came back next year, I think he'd just knock them all for a 6. He's obviously got the ability. He just needs a little bit of time to settle down and get pointed in the right direction.
Brent Jones riding as fast as he needs to, getting through the traffic very, very easily indeed, and running away again to dominate. I think we might have to start importing some Grand Prix riders, some works riders, to give him a challenge. That's the alternative to Brent, of course, taking the mountain to Mohammed, or whichever way you like to do it. But Brent Jones, certainly, in our opinion, should be back in Europe and contesting and trying to get a works ride. Simon Turner just allowing Hamish McNichol to get through on him. He's got that place back again now, back into 3rd place. McNichol in 4th. It was just the traffic that held him up, and he didn't have a very fast way through. Looking just back there to see how far McNichol is behind him. McNichol coming up to challenge, but Turner will get it again on brakes. See the back wheel hopping there as he's hard on the front brake. McNichol underneath him. A bit of a wide line, and Simon Turner shaking his head with frustration, knowing that he made a mistake.
Yes, if you notice Simon Turner's bike under brakes, then very, very chattery in the front end. I think it's just lack of knowledge on how to set the bike up. All these guys have ridden, you know, like I say, ridden this season. Like Simon's just picking up time. Every time he catches up with McNichol, he makes a slight mistake, whether it be in traffic, running a bit wide, trying to just make a little bit of a gap. He's just a little bit unfortunate in this particular race, but that's the way it goes. He's obviously got the determination and the skill that's needed. Just he needs a little bit more time to get the refinements on the bike and get himself set up into the right mood.
It seems a bit loose in the steering.
Well, Simon's running on second-hand tyres. I brought a couple of tyres back from Australia that suited his bike. They're all second-hand. He had a brand new rear tyre for this morning, but still had a second-hand front that he'd been using at various circuits. He's riding on a shoestring. Like, I think the guys, out of the top 6 or 8 guys, he's probably got the slowest bike and the least amount of money spent on it. Like, he's got no money for new tyres. He's doing the South Island on a shoestring budget with his brother, and I think he's got to, you know, keep at it.
But how to compete with the man in the best of form on the best of machinery? This man, Brent Jones, our race leader, the Formula 2 points leader by a huge margin. There's no question he's going to win it, but he wanted this race. He's on the last lap of it now, and this race was important to him because it's the 1987 Formula 2 New Zealand Grand Prix. And it's not just the points of the series win that Brent Jones wants, he wants the title too. Now, on the last lap of the Formula 2 race yesterday, he had the misfortune at this very point on the circuit to break a chain. And Bruce Woodley came past him, and that's the only race that he hasn't won that he's entered in Formula 2, is where he had a mechanical failure on the last lap. And there's an indication of confidence. He's able to have a look back over there and see that there is nobody within spitting distance, and there's no question he's going to win the race. Coming on to the front straight for the last time now, down to take the checkered flag. Christchurch's international rider, Brent Jones, beating a very good class field. Martin Renfrey in 2nd place, the Australian. Hamish McNichol, another Australian, in 3rd place, just beating Simon Turner of New Zealand in 4th place. Here's Brent Jones on the TZ S250, latest model in Grand Prix 250 machines, with its Dayglow livery. Looking every inch a winner, Brent Jones. Quite tall and light of frame, almost the same sort of dimensions as Roger Freeth. And on a small bike like this 250, he hangs off it in similar fashion. Wide knees. You can see he's quite tall for the bike. Didn't have a moment, was able to relax and look over his shoulder there when those behind him, chasing in his wake, several times in previous laps have had big moments coming out of that corner. With all their concentration in place, still losing the back wheel with the lack of traction that is there. Jones is always extraordinarily well prepared. Everything is done on a very professional basis, although he is not yet a professional rider. Able to relax as he came into the front straight for the last time, run down to the checkered flag, take the New Zealand title and win the championship on points by a handsome margin.
The checkered flag, and now Brent Jones, New Zealand Grand Prix winner in Formula 2. Congratulations, Brent. That looked easy, was it?
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it was reasonably easy. Didn't have too much pressure put on me after sort of 5 or 6 laps. Managed to pull out a nice buffer and yeah, just sort of settled down and tried to keep consistent and not make any mistakes, and everything went really well.
Obviously, after the preliminary race yesterday, you've made double certain that chain is all tacked together correctly.
Yes, we've got that all sorted now, and the bike's going really well, 100%, you know.
Well, I guess there's not too much more to say as far as you're concerned in Formula 2 for this series. You've cleaned up everywhere except for that preliminary race yesterday. You've won the New Zealand Grand Prix. After this New Zealand series finishes, what are your plans? Are you going to Europe, going back to Asia again? Whereabouts are you headed?
Well, I can go back to Asia. I've got firm deals to go back there if I want to. As far as Europe goes, which is where I'd like to, be going, well, I'm just open for offers. Sitting back waiting, actually.
If you went to Europe, would it be on the 250, or would you like to move up to 500?
Well, it wouldn't worry me, 500 or 250 is no problem. Yeah.
So anybody from Europe who happens to have a big checkbook ready, you'd be prepared to talk turkey?
Oh yeah, the check wouldn't have to be that big either. I'd just like to get a chance to go back. We went last year, or last year, and did reasonably well with the equipment and finances we had, but it's, it's so expensive, it's really difficult.
Brent, congratulations once again. Just before we let you go, Don Cosford's got the trophy for you. I'm sure you'll be delighted to receive that.
Yeah, thank you.
There it is, the Formula 2 Series winner, Brent Jones, and the New Zealand Grand Prix winner in Formula 2 on his Yamaha TZ250. Well done, Brent. Let's have a word now with the man who came in second place, Martin Renfrey. Martin, we talked to you at Wanganui when that race was stopped up there after the accident, and you suggested that you would like a chance to go head-to-head against Jones, but sure. I guess on the day he was just too good for you.
Oh yes, on the day, yeah, I'll have to agree with that. Can't say anything to the likewise, can I?
You say on the day, but do you think that in the future there might be a chance with another machine perhaps that you get up and get past him?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure we could, if he came over to Oz, I think we'd find it'll be a lot closer. We come here and we only do a minimum amount of practice, that sort of thing, so it takes us a while to get these bikes sorted out and set up, but no, I'm quite happy with the show we put on.
Martin, you've got a Honda. How do you compare that to the Yamaha that Brent's been riding in?
The Yamaha and the Honda are nearly identical. They're better. Some are better in some different areas, like Yamahas are better out of the tighter corners, where the Honda's got a bit more go down the straight and probably a bit better gearing for out of faster sweepers, that sort of thing.
All right, Martin, are you going to come back next year to our series here?
Oh, I think we'll come back and give it another shot, see if we can play with Brad next year.
Okay, Martin, thanks for coming. We'll move to just a quick word perhaps with the man who came into third place, and also a word with the youngster from Hawke's Bay, Simon Turner. But Hamish McNichol, you got up to get past Simon in the end. It was a good dice for third and fourth there.
Yeah, we had a race-long dice, really, and I think it was only the lap traffic at the end that put Simon back a bit, but I had a good time, yeah.
Simon, once again, you've impressed us with your skill. Perhaps a little bit of inexperience showing there. I noticed at one stage you were shaking your head when Hamish went past you in a corner. You went wide and let him through?
Yeah, well, I think I missed a gear there and mad at myself, yeah.
Since Wanganui, you haven't had any offers of sponsorship or any big checks floating under your nose?
No, not yet, no.
Still waiting?
Yep, still waiting.
And still pretty keen to follow in the footsteps of Uncle Keith?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, sure.
All right, Simon, we'll look forward to following your progress in years to come. Well done and well raced in the series.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go back now to Tony Palmer to confirm the official placings in Formula 2.
Yeah, Peter, we'll give them a big plug and say that if those people do have checkbooks out there, there are two men that really should deserve sponsorship, one of them being Brent Jones, who already is there and just needs the money to go and do it, and Simon Turner, the man who's on the way to doing it. Brent Jones wins the race and the Grand Prix title, and of course the overall championship by a substantial margin of 33 points, 105. The next best was Martin Renfrey with 72. And in that race, Martin Renfrey second, Hamish McNichol third, And in 4th place was Simon Turner, our youngster, the upcoming star, who, as we just said, needs somebody with a big checkbook.